Lagos is a gargantuan megalopolis, a manifest study of geometrically rapid urbanization in settlement geography. The name Lagos was coined out of the word lagoon, which is a large body of water separated from the sea or ocean by a low sandbank or coral reef. The initial Portuguese explorers called it Lago de Coramo, from where the tacit unique name Lagos was distilled. Among the largest of cities in the world, Lagos eclipsed herself as a city and necessarily became a state. An aerial view of Lagos will demonstrate the massive urban sprawl ever expanding. So it is a pleasant surprise to find an oasis of conservation within this millionaire city-state. A clear marvel in ecotourism. In this seminal episode on CHANTE AFRIQUE, we welcome you to the magnificent Lekki Conservation Center. The Lekki Conservation Center, Etiosa, Lekki Peninsula in Lagos, was established in 1990 by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. The Conservation Center is arguably one of Africa's most prominent, most diverse natural parks. It is a veritable, magnificent study in ecotourism. What is ecotourism? Ecotourism is about uniting conservation communities and sustainable travel. This means that those who implement, participate in, and market ecotourism activities should adopt ecotourism principles of minimizing physical, social, behavioral, and psychological impact on the immediate affected environment. Wikipedia defines ecotourism as a form of tourism involving visiting fragile, pristine, and relatively undisturbed natural areas intended as a low-impact and often small-scale alteration to standard tourism, which is on a massive scale. Ecotourism focuses on socially responsible travel, personal growth, and environmental sustainability. Now, let's talk about green tourism. These are all relevant in defining and affirming the appropriateness of the Lekki Conservation Center. Green tourism is relevant to any tourism business, large or small, rural or urban, whether focused on ecotourism, business tourism, or any other tourism niche market. Green tourism businesses are those actively engaged in reducing the negative environmental impact of their tourism operations in whatever environment they find themselves. I believe that it is in the spirit of green tourism and ecotourism that the brilliant idea of the Lekki Conservation Center was set up. Keep watching. My name's Theodore Obichikelu, and this is CHANTE AFRIQUE, our new discovery ecotourism and aviation development program. We're here at the Lekki Conservation. We're right here at the highest peak, and what comes to mind is just the beneficence of God to Africa. This is Nigeria, and this is nature at its peak. For wonder, for meaning, for appreciating nature in its unvanished state, you can hardly beat Africa. And that's the essence of this program, to ensure that our people understand what we have and appreciate it and take advantage of it. Ecotourism is the mainstay of a lot of countries: South Africa, Malaysia, Hawaii, Barbados, Ethiopia, etc. Even Ghana. Nigeria has far more alone than all these countries. Africa is the pearl of the world. You can never get the kind of landscapes and seascapes and the kind of forests that you have in Africa anywhere else. Let us exploit what we have. Let us take advantage of what we have.
You're welcome to Lekki Conservation Center. I hope you have gotten all the necessary information from the information office.
That's right.
This place is not a zoo, but it's just a reserve park. So we are going to do 4 kilometers walk, 2 kilometers in, and 2 kilometers out. We're also going to exploit the longest canopy walkway in Africa, second to the longest in the world. What I'm trying to say in essence is that our animals are not in captivity. They have their freedom. They go to wherever they choose to go. So sighting them is by chance. We have so many animals here. We have crocodiles, we have monitor lizard, antelopes, snakes, birds of different species, butterflies, squirrels, and so many others. So sighting them depends on how we are going to compose ourselves. If we do like as if we are taking some kind of hunting exercise, we look side by side. I assure you we are going to sight so many. So once again, Nigeria Conservation Foundation was established in 1980, then formally registered as a charitable organization in 1982. Okay. The trail we are working on was constructed in 1990. We have been a conservation leaders for a good number of years, and it is the largest environmental non-governmental organization in Nigeria with its national headquarters in Lagos.
Okay, that what's the name of that monkey?
Mona monkey.
Mona.
Yeah, Mona.
What does a Mona monkey do? What's the difference?
They are small. Mona are friendly. They are not like other species
that are aggressive.
Yes, and there are about 17 different species of monkeys, but there's no way in a forest committee like this that you can see the total number. You can see like 6, 7, 8 respectively. But the only species that is remaining in this forest is the Mona. There used to be other species before, but they might have been harvested by hunters before the idea of conservation. It is the longest canopy walkway in Africa, second to the longest in the world, and the highest point is 22.5 meters. This is the second run of it. At this level we are 14 meters above the forest floor. Okay. The facility was actually designed to help people in climbing trees. If you notice, we've been climbing trees gradually without much stress.
Exactly, on top of it. It was
specially designed for researchers, people who research on animals that live on top of trees like the monkey, snakes, butterflies, squirrels, birds of different species. When you use the canopy walkway first thing in the morning, you see them at a close range and you'll be able to write stories about them. So it's actually for exercise too. The one we're doing now is for exercise, and also designed to help people get closer to nature. Get closer to nature. Now we can touch anything. If you look around, you see different species of trees. This one is the one Yoruba call Iru. That's African locust beans. It's African locust beans, so you call it Iru in Yoruba. Yeah. So it's a non-table product that you know how it's being collected. It bears fruit, and when the fruit drops, they pick it, gather it, ferment it, and after that they wash it.
That's right.
Yeah. So with this canopy walkway, it gets you closer to nature. And we know that the forest has 4 layers: the forest floor, the understory, the canopy, and the emergent. It's only with the help of canopy that you can walk on the forest emergent. So now we are getting above the forest canopy gradually. In time we get to the emergent, where we get to the highest point, which is 22.5 meters above the forest floor.
Now the question is, these trees here are basically economic trees, and as they are in situ, as it were, in this conservatory, is there any way your personnel can, exploit resources? I can see palm fruits there, actually, on the tree.
Yeah.
Some of these trees yield like palm wine. Now you're talking about this African locust bean, and so on and so forth. Or they are just left to waste because they are part of the conservation.
They are not waste, like you said. You know, like the palms, they are product for monkeys. Anything you see are on tap, because it's a conservation minded area. So the monkeys feed on it. Correct. So economically they are important to the animals.
That's very right. That is the pyramid.
Yes.
The cycle. That's very good. The establishment of the Lekki Conservation Center is a brilliant effort of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation in its laudable initiative to install convincingly a conservation example of the Nigerian Southwest Coastal Mangrove Resources and an information center for environmental education and awareness creation. This has enabled a process where students from various academic institutions and tourists have a clear opportunity to learn various steps to conserving national resources. Aside from the economic galvanization of tourism activities, there must be clear concerns about the immediate and long-term effect of such activity on the environment. Tourism in all its ramifications must consider environmental impact and its assessment as relevant to ensure positive ecotourism activity.
This is the last hour, and we are taking a walk on the longest canopy walkway in Africa, like I said before, second to the longest in the world. Actually, there are 5 canopy walkways in Africa. There's one at Kakum National Park in Ghana, which was started in 1994. There's one at Nyungwe Forest. Nyungwe is in Rwanda. That was 2010. There's another one, 2 in Cross River State. There are 3 in Nigeria, 1 in Lagos and 2 in Cross River State. In Cross River State, there's 1 at Obudu Cattle Ranch and the other at Afi Mountain Forest Reserve. So the canopy walkway is constructed to make people have a feel what it takes when you are walking on the forest floor and when you are operating at the emergency level. At the emergency level like this, we are suffering for indecision and we don't know what might happen next. But it gives us a better view because you see that some trees are bigger, some are shorter, some are taller, some are smaller, some are flowering trees, some are non-flowering trees. So when you get closer to nature like this, you see that the forest is not constant. That's the way we fed the days. there are a lot of dynamic changes in the forest coming to there.
Variable.
Yeah. So you see the breeze here is different because it's coming straight from the Atlantic Ocean.
That's what they call the sea breeze.
Sea
and it's not encumbrance by interference of vegetation. It's very salubrious. It's very much part of our intention to bring our people, our country, and our continent closer to nature, to what we have, and to learn to appreciate. That's the whole essence of CHANTE, which incidentally in English means sing Africa. Sing, praise, Africa. Hello once again. Here we are at the top of the conservation complex in Lekki, the highest point, which I understand is 22.5 meters above mean sea level. Actually, that's quite a height. As you can see, we're standing right on top of the trees and looking at the flora and fauna. It is part of the indicative program of our new television series called CHANTE AFRIQUE. CHANTE AFRIQUE means Sing Africa. We are trying to ensure that we are at home with what we have. We understand the natural resources that we have, and we encourage tourism. And of course, as everyone knows, tourism is driven by transportation, of which the most defined and the most sophisticated is air transport. That is the import of this program. Thank you for your attention. Well, my experience is that it's exhilarating. It's a bit scary because the walkway sways, so you apply a lot of faith, trusting to luck, if you like. But at the end of the day, it's worth the experience. It's extraordinary, and it's challenging. Now I feel good that I did it, and I encourage people to come to this place and have this experience. It's wonderful. It is as dramatic as it is poetic. If you are not there, you will not understand it. If you do not feel it, you can't interpret it. Therefore, it recommends that you come, and as they say, you tell the story with your own mouth. You see it with your eyes. It is wonderful that such a thing can be found in a cosmopolitan millionaire city like Lagos. And in these days of high pressure work, traffic, etc., this is a place that has a health implication. When you are very close to nature, you go back to man at his atavistic natural level. And that in itself is better than any other kind of prophylactic medicine that anybody will apply to you. Therefore, it's my recommendation for inbound tourists that if they threaten the borders of Lagos, the conservation in Lekki is a must-see. It's really amazing what you have right by your doorstep and you're not even aware. Right here at the conservation of Lekki, I can see a manifest grassland, what we call Guinea savanna in geography. And right in front of me is a pond, that's a tilapia pond. And I was struck at the size of the fishes, and they came popping up out of the water thinking that we're going to feed them. Of course, we're not allowed to feed them. And further down the road, we saw an extraordinary pond again with a very exotic fish. It's called koi from Japan. They are huge. I was thinking they were edible, but I was made to understand that they're basically like goldfish that you put in an aquarium just for sighting. It is wonderful, and I think it is important that we make it clear that it is worth the experience. It's part of the Lagos experience. I presented it on our Discovery series on CHANTE AFRIQUE. We have come to the end of this episode on the Lekki conservation. It was Alexander Pope, a philosopher, who said that hope rests eternal in the human breast, for man never is, but always to be blessed. With the effective establishment of the Lekki Conservation Center by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, a landmark in ecotourism in Nigeria, is very clearly manifest. And indeed, there is hope, not just for the fledgling tourism industry, but in the awareness and education of tourism practitioners in the appropriateness and absolute necessity of environmentally conscious tourism activity or ecotourism. Keep a date with us next week for yet another illuminating and edifying edition on the Lekki Conservation Center on CHANTE AFRIQUE, Tourism Without Boundaries.